You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com, helping out kids without fathers who aren't in heaven, who fucked my mother then left. Hallowed be thy deadbeat ass. For thy single mother hath come, and she worship at the cock of the great government check. Give us this day our daily EPT card, and forgive us our TAMF, as we go and worship in the house of Section 8. For thine is the leftist democratic kingdom, the power and the glory, on perpetual parasitism and dependency forever and ever. Barack Obama. All right. We got a shit ton to do here at AssholeConsulting.com, where I, America's older brother, will help you and give you the swift kick in the ass that you desperately need. I cannot emphasize that adjective or adverb desperately enough. Because we will, for a little bit of money that you're going to pay your older brother, you will have an easier life. I can't guarantee you're going to have an easier life. You will probably earn back many times fold what you spend on me from simply not fucking up. Hello, Mr. Clary. I'm a 28-year-old female currently living in Kentucky. When I was 18, I was diagnosed with depression, and a doctor slapped a prescription of Lexapro into my hand and sent me on my... Everybody has a mental disorder. Everybody has a mental disorder. Soon it will be the people without the mental disorders that are the ones with mental... Hey, he's normal. He doesn't have drugs. Oh my God. We gotta kill him. Once I began taking the SSRI, I began having erratic and somewhat hostile behavior, one of the possible side effects that I didn't know about at the time. One day while I was hanging out with a female... Don't blame the drugs. You took the drugs. You claimed you... Oh, I'm sad. Give me drugs. Oh shit, it was the drugs. I'm sad, I took a drink. Oh, I didn't mean to run over the little kid. It was the booze. It was the devil me. Get the fuck off. One day while I was hanging out with my female friend, I had the genius idea it would be a funny prank to take a low-powered, 200 feet per square foot spring-loaded BB gun and drive around town shooting pedestrians in the ass. So that was brilliant. Needless to say, no one else thought it was funny. Despite no one else being seriously injured, we were quickly arrested and charged with 6 felony first-degree assault charges. You just that 1 degree of going this way or going that way. No jail time, felony record. There should be a lesson to everybody. We should all learn from this poor woman's past. We were quickly arrested and charged with 6 felony count. 1 felony count of tampering with physical evidence because we disposed of the BB gun. Even though everyone we shot at dropped the charges against us, the good old Commonwealth of Kentucky picked up the charges and charged us with 7 felonies anyway. Despite having no powers whatsoever, we were both sentenced to 9 months of house arrest, 1,000 hours of community service, 5 years probation, and 90 days in jail to be served on weekends. I went, why the fuck did they do this? Like, yeah, we'll let you go, but you got to come back here and stay. What is that? What just... They're either in jail or they're not. And if you want them to come sit their asses in a cell, just this cube, well, have them go fucking do more community services. At least the fucking community gets some goddamn use out of you. I went ahead and enrolled in college anyway and club tested out of almost 2 whole semesters of gen ed classes before I began classes. Awesome. I served my sentence while simultaneously going to Western Kentucky University. I quickly found out that when you check yourself into an isolation cell, jail becomes the perfect distraction-free place to study. I guarantee, yes, it is. It's the same thing with security. Just sitting there on your ass. You can't go nowhere else. That's great. That's great. I decided to major in journalism. That's not great. You pissed away a lot of time with that. I wish I had found your videos sooner before I wasted a year and a half on that bullshit. At the end of my sophomore year, however, one of my journalism professors disdainfully told me I used too many big words in my writing. I consulted with my philosophy and logic professor, and she was appalled that I had been wasting my time in journalism and urged me to go major in STEM. Whoa! Who is this? Wait, a female philosophy professor told you to get the fuck out of there and go major in STEM? That is a fucking saint. Who the fuck is that woman? She should be awarded like the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm being deadly serious. She does more than any other professor I heard, and intellectually, honestly so. Even going so far as to say I should look into going to med school because she said I had the intelligence to become a physician. But I knew with my criminal record that would never happen. I had no clue what fields would accept my criminal record So I just became very discouraged and withdrew from college completely. That's really when reality set in how horrible life with a felony really is. I was an honor student in high school on the president's list in college. Oh, but you had the depressions, right? You had the depressions. I have an IQ of 155. Yeah, dude, you're like MIT material. You are beyond, you're like, we go have you work for an institution. Yeah, that's what? That is more than 3 standard deviations. That's 3 2/3 standard deviations. You are Einstein. You should go work on the Hydro Collider or whatever the fuck it is over in Switzerland. Yet there I was having to groggle and beg managers for entry-level jobs for which I was vastly overqualified. No, you dropped out of college. You majored in a stupid subject. You were perfectly qualified for those positions. You don't have it. Just because you have a genius IQ, you got to translate into something. It's like you have all this potential. You didn't turn in any practical tools people wanted to hire. It must have been maddening, though. I can only imagine with your IQ having to deal with the fucking normies and the dipshits of the world. I currently work at a place, and I make $7.25 hours plus tips, which actually makes for a decent income. I'm a minimalist, so I'm doing well on my wages there. I'm paying off old debt that I incurred during my tumultuous time going through the court system. As I near 30, though, I can't help but feel like a huge loser still working this low-level job. I want to go back to school. I want to do something that stimulates me mentally, something where I can really utilize all my talents and intelligence. I've been kicking around the idea of going into mechanical engineering for the past few years, but I don't know if I should waste my time, the time and money, if I'm just going to hit brick walls with every company because of my criminal record. I'm eligible for the file to be for expungement in 2018. I also recently found out that Kentucky passed Bill 40 in 2016, which allows felons who haven't reoffended in 10 years to get multiple felonies expunged if they are all related to the same incident. The only catch is that it doesn't cover a lot of violent offenses, mostly only drugs, theft, and things like that, but perhaps they make exceptions occasionally. I do not know. I don't have the money for a good lawyer, and public defenders in this town are as useful as tits on a boar hog, so I pretty much feel like I'm on my own in this arena. Deep down, I feel like filing for expungement would be a fruitless endeavor. You might as well go for it. I would... I don't know if we got anybody in Kentucky who's a charitable lawyer that wants to take, because I know I'm being hard on her, but she fucked up, and it's pissing me off as to what a tragic waste this potential IQ would be if it just sits there working a low-level job like she is. So if we happen to have any lawyers in Kentucky that would be kind enough to help this woman, please let us know. But I'm saying you should go for the expungement. Look, even I know I'm no lawyer. Don't take this as legal advice, but my logic is, if you don't do anything versus you yourself doing all the paperwork and filing it, I know it's like, if you don't ask, you make 0% of the shots you don't take. You might owe it to yourself to try and just, if you can't afford a lawyer, do it yourself. Now, I know every lawyer now is going to freak out and they're having spurgasms right now. All right? I understand. I'm merely pointing out the logic that if you don't try, if your choice is never try and never get a shot at your thing being expunged versus going and filing it yourself and doing that yourself, you stand a better chop, albeit maybe infinitesimal, as opposed to not doing anything at all. But the best thing would be still to try to find a lawyer, because you know how they freak out when you say, I'm going to represent myself in court. And it's exactly how they sound. So if there is a kind lawyer, or just maybe get some advice down below, if you happen to be a lawyer in Kentucky, I'd really appreciate it, as would the client. But yeah, I think you should aim for expungement, because that'll make things a lot easier now, wouldn't it? So don't just think, it'll be a fruitless endeavor. I understand spending the money on it. There's a risk in that. But investigate it at least. It doesn't cost you to investigate it and find out how much this would cost, okay? And you'd be surprised, like, maybe it's very simple, maybe you find a charity case, maybe it's not that expensive for a high-end lawyer, like, a couple $100, and okay, yeah, we'll file it, no problem. And then, shit, you didn't get accepted. But that's Lawyerville, so go talk to a lawyer on that one. But I think you should still aim for expungement, is my point. What else should I do? I feel like some type of engineering would be perfect for me. I'm intelligent, detail-oriented, love math, and problem-solving, and enjoy working with machinery. Bottom line is I don't want to spend the rest of my life asking people if they want more ketchup. Sorry if this was long. Thank you very much. Get it back. Make a video. Perhaps it helps out. Okay, and so then I had another question. I'm definitely interested. I said, well, what kind of engineering? Why mechanical? She says, I'm definitely interested in all those types of engineering and programming as well. However, I live in a place in Kentucky that is rife with automotive factories, so I figured the mechanical engineering degree would give me the best shot at getting a job locally. Chances are I'd be a mechanic or a union worker. I don't know if it'd necessarily be mechanical engineering. Certainly better in that place than, say, like an agricultural town or, Michigan, where they don't build anything anymore. Oh, Michigan, you shithole. Yeah, I mean, mechanical engineer would not just limit yourself, but don't think because there's cars. Those are machines. They need mechanical engineers. Mechanical engineers could be in fucking Dallas for all we know, designing this shit. And it's the fucking blue collar mechanics, the workers, the automotive factory, UAW type of guys. Those are jobs. Which is nothing wrong with that job, being a mechanic or an auto worker union or union auto worker. That may be something to consider. They're not too terrible. Like, it's not like you're applying to Harvard when you want to go work on the line. They probably have people who've made mistakes in their past before. So that's something to consider. The trades would be probably more forgiving of a criminal record than, Goldman Sachs. Don't really want to, I don't really want to relocate because I'm the only child. My parents are in their mind 60s. Being baby boomers, they don't really have any kind of retirement savings, so I'll be the sole caregiver and source of money in their old. No. You do not owe your parents a living. Your mom, I'm going to demonstrate this again. Hang on, let me go over here. I'm going to demonstrate again what your parents did to bring you into this world. Okay? Your dad did this. And then your mom did this. Done this before. She did this. That's it. That's all any parents ever did to bring your stupid ass into this world. And they lorded over you. I brought you into this. No. You were a 5-second orgasm for your father. And I don't know what fucking women think when they're afraid. I don't care. I've given up. I just kind of like, I'm for the money shot and I'm going to go to bed now. All right? That's all they did. They owe you, or you owe them shit. That's another question. We can talk about that later. All right? But you are not going to limit yourself. Like, my parents live here, so I better stick around here. I'll just chop myself off at the legs. Oh, jeez, why does my life suck? Oh, I wish I could go make 6 figures in Dallas, Texas, but no, I'm going to stay here because mom and dad, they fucked and dad came inside mom and that's why I should be here. It was really hard for them to have sex. It must have been really painful and tortured for them. You rethink that whole thing, okay? Because you're not going to look, you can make 40 grand living around towns, taking advantage of all the economic opportunity near your folks, or you can move the fuck out and go where the money is and make $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 and just ship them back the money. Because that's all it really is, apparently, to baby boomers, is just about the money. Because, you paying taxes on Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, that's not enough. No, you gotta fucking be their fucking daycare provider. Fuck me. Like your dad did your mom. All right. I also enjoy working hands-on and machinery, and from what I understand, mechanical engineering is more hands-on than the rest. No, it's a lot of CAD. No. See, this would lead me to believe you might be a better mechanic. Your auto worker union may not be the worst thing. Trade school, going and working on machinery, engines, or auto repair, that may be more your cup of tea. But honestly, I'm not dead set on any particular avenue at this point. I just want something more lucrative, mentally stimulating, and something that will take felons. Video sponsor. Okay. What I am perplexed by, or I have a quandary with, is you have this immense IQ. You have this incredible ability. You could go into MIT. And if you haven't read Curse of the High IQ, please do, because, the Bell distribution curve, you're just freakishly intelligent. You're the Elon Musk's type of Tony Stark thing, all right? So you have the ability, you could make, I have an idea, to make unlimited energy. I know, everyone laughs at me. Oh, you're not an engineer. Yeah, you're right! It means I think outside you, fuck you fucking calculating nerd. Anyway, there's a piece of me that says, gosh, you really ought to try and go into a 4-year institution engineering, computer science, something like that, go the academic route. And then all of a sudden, you'd excel in it, so you'd at minimum be a good engineer, great engineer. But then academia may pick up on you and say, holy shit, this is a true child genius prodigy. Okay? And then all of a sudden, then you're like, you're in the advanced program for doody-doo, and you're splitting neutrons, and you're splicing genes, whatever it is that's at the frontier of really super smart people. And then you cure cancer working at Johns Hopkins University. Right? That's one route I'd like you to go. But then there's what you like and what I think you just really like to do. And if you like to work with your hands, dude, being a mechanic is nothing wrong with that. Auto worker union, electrician, carpenter, absolutely nothing wrong with that. And this is where you got it. This is where I can't answer it for you. You got to figure out what you enjoy doing more yourself. Now, thankfully, I know you think you're old, or like, oh my God, I'm 28. Geez, I mean, it's not like you can't do both, right? So here's what I would recommend you do. Go to your community college and start taking your calculus and all those other type of classes if you haven't already, okay? Then I would, and this is going to be experimental, I would start taking maybe some trade classes at your local community college. If you got a tech college, go there. If you don't have that, then maybe go talk to the auto working places. There's factories. Go there and look. Say, I'm thinking about becoming an auto worker. I got this freakishly high IQ. Can you show me what it's like? You know, this is the footwork nobody else wants to do. You know what I'm gonna do? 5 years ago, 5 years. This is just killing all these goddamn kids. Everyone just immediately rushes off to college without thinking about it. Go and do your homework. Find out. All right, go study online. Western Governors University. There's a place you can go take some online classes. You get credit for them. You got to pay for them. Although you have been clepping, so I'll leave it up to you. Take Khan's Academy classes. This is not necessarily... I'm trying to figure out a way you can get credit for classes you haven't already taken yet that would lead towards the point that you could get a 2-year certification as a welder, some kind of trade degree certification, but then also be repurposed or used or count towards a more professional 4-year degree in mechanical engineering if that is what you have an interest in. But what I think you need to do now is spend just as much time, well, not as much time, but at least a couple months evaluating your options and figure out what you like more. Right? If you're living with your folks, your dad has some tools, go grab a motorcycle. Go grab a crappy, broken motorcycle and see if you can't fix it. Right? And then, like, when you're wrenching on that and having the time of your life, I love working on machines. I love working on motorcycles and car engines. If I ever have the money, I'll have myself a nice garage with all the tools in the world, and I'm going to rebuild classic cars. Oh, Aaron, you funny guy. But you'll find, oh, wow, this is for me. I don't need, and here's the other thing with being a tradesman. If you become a good, not only are they more likely to hire you than, say, you know, GE Electric's not going to hire a felon electrical engineer. That much, you know, pretty safe bet. I don't know, but I'm pretty safe bet. But with the trades, okay, they're not only more likely to hire someone with a criminal background, but let's say you become a mechanic. Well, then you just open up your own damn shop. The great thing about the trades is they lend themselves very well towards entrepreneurship and self-employment. So fuck it, you could have murdered 2,000 little infant babies. As long as no one finds the bodies or where you buried them, you can be a great mechanic. Bob's Mechanic Shop. Hey, there we go. All right, so what I would do, this is the experimental stage. You're going to take some time, maybe take this summer, okay? In addition to your job, go and explore. Go down to the auto plant. Say, hey, I'm thinking about working as an auto. Talk to the union. Say, hey, what can I expect? Go to your local mechanic shop. Say, hey, what's it like repairing cars? Go maybe take some, community ed classes on wiring electricity and stuff like that. Then while at home, take something a little bit more cerebral. Take your calculuses. Get those out of the way. Clep out of those if you haven't already. Start looking into mechanical engineering classes. I got another client after you. He's a mechanical engineer. It's too theoretical for him. He wants to get out and do some more hands-on-zy. All right, but again, I can't tell you what that is. Now, you are in the right ballpark. I always talk about the ballpark. You're not looking to major in English. You're not looking to major in some stupid shit. But what this addresses is your other concern about, is this all going to be worth it? And here's the thing. It's like having herpes. It's moot. It's in the past. You have this mark. Okay? You have this black mark on your resume and your CV. Right? You have a criminal record. Ideally, we get it expunged, but assuming that you have this mark, you have herpes, you got hit by an IED and you lost a leg in Iraq. This is now a given and a permanent aspect of your life. The question is, does that mean I should give up? And the answer is no, you should not give up. Because I guarantee you, if you give up, you're going to experience the worst possible outcome of your life. Right? So this doesn't, in my mind, change anything. You still ought to try your best. You're still going to have a better chance in life becoming an engineer or a mechanic or whatever than if you didn't try at all. You're going to stand a better chance in life if you at least put the effort to get your criminal record expunged than not trying at all. Don't fall into this victim fucking woe is me, I may choose anyone from the fine menu of leftist disadvantages. The color of my skin, the hole between my legs, the plumbing downstairs, the fake mental disorder we just pulled out of our ass this past 10 years. I'm the 38th flavor again. You can choose, and then no, woe is me, I can't want, give me money. And then you can see where these people's lives go. You become a liberal arts professor, you become a professional race or sexist whore, you become a professional activist. You just look at these people's lives, right? Those are people who gave up. You have the ability, a lot of it, a huge amount of intelligent potential to do a lot more. And it is going to be a higher hurdle you have to jump than someone who didn't commit a crime. Okay? But I think given the relative weakness of the crime, given that it was 10 years ago, people typically are more forgiving than you think. And frankly, you got no other choice. You owe it to yourself to try your best anyway. So I would go, you're not getting into Goldman Sachs. You're not going to work for some hoity-toity law firm. You won't be, there's some places that aren't going to take, Cargill and Target Corporation. When you come to know Minnesota, large corporation would hire you here because we're just too good. We're just too perfect Minnesotans. But that doesn't mean, I would say maybe 5% of the world's employers are off limits to you now, military, stuff like that. But it's not the end of the world. So put forth the effort, find out what you want to do, more handsy-onsy stuff, or become a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, whatever. Time will tell, you got to take some classes and figure this stuff out before you go, or you'll find out you hate mechanical, you'll love chemical, whatever. But the one thing I can say for sure is that, yes, it is worth going down and getting some kind of trade or skill, be it 4-year or 2-year or whatever. So don't just sit, because what's your other choice? Stay there at the place you're working now, making your $7.25 an hour? No, absolutely not. I should have asked you if you're a good-looking gal, because if you're a good-looking gal, you could always sucker some guy. This is how I consult. I'm being honest with my clients. If you're a good-looking gal, you could totally get some husband guy to take care of you. Plus, you're more sane. You'd actually probably make a really good wife because you screwed up and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that doesn't matter. For your own personal endeavors, with your 155 IQ, you owe it to yourself to give it a shot, right? So, anyway, hope that gave you some ideas, gave you some, I can't tell you exactly what to do. I can't say, do this because that's what you're called to do. That's up to you. But, there's nothing wrong with your game plan. It's just going to take a little bit harder for you because of your criminal record. That's all. Anyway, hope that helps out. And you guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. If you need to contact me directly, you can Praxi me. Download the Praxi app, Praxey. And you can just search Asshole Consulting. You'll find me there. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.